Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming, ladies, gentlemen, esteemed guests for today's event. Family, friends, this is a momentous event for me and my family. Today is the launch of the poetry collection of my niece, the first poetry collection. It's called Over the Garden Wall. So before we get started, we'll start with a small prayer. We'll pray to our beautiful land, that is Goa, and the local god. We have our little voices for today: Arna Mungre, Sannavi Kamat, and Ashvi Mungre, singing a Ishtavan. Thank you, Arna, Sannavi, and Ashvi. So we'll get started with today's event. Brief introduction and why we are here today. So the author for today's book is Shaivee. At 17 years young age, the wisdom and then the thought process that Shaivee has is really commendable. So today we are going to launch the book. The book is not just the collection of words. It's a journey through her thoughts, her inspirations, her dreams, right? So we will get started soon. I will invite Dinesh Bhai, our publisher, to escort the dignitaries on the stage. Dinesh Bhai Manerkar, he is the publisher for Sanjana Publications, helped us with numerous books for my mother, and now it's a proud occasion that we are also publishing my niece, Shaivee Kamat's first poetry collection. Dinesh Bhai, would you like to say a few words?
जमिल्ल्या सगळ्या संजना पब्लिकेशन्साच्या वतीन आणि शैवी, अंबिका आणि हेमंत कामत यांच्या कुटुंबियाच्या वतीन उर्बेभरीत येवकार. आयच्या सुवाळ्याचे मुखेल सोयरे गोंय राज्याचे पर्यटन मंत्री, गोंयच्या सरकारांतले एक तडफदार व्यक्तिमत्व भौमानेस्त रोहन बाब खौटे, तुमकां मना काळजासावन येवकार. आयच्या सुवाळ्याचे मानाचे सोयरे भौमानेस्त विजय सर, विजय शेट्टी, तुमकां मना काळजासावन येवकार. आयच्या सुवाळ्याचे दुसरे मानाचे सोयरे, पेशान इंजिनियर आणि काळजान पोएट, काळजान कवी भोवमानेस्त महेंद्र बाब काकुलो तुमकां आयची उत्सव मूर्ती बाय शैवी तुकाय मन काळजासावन येवकार आणि आयचे सूत्रसंचालक भोवमानेस्त अक्षय बाब मुंगरे हांकांय मन काळजासावन येवकार. आणि आज व्हडा उपस्थितीन तुम्ही सगळे उपस्थित रावल्यात, व्हडा संख्येन उपस्थित रावल्यात. बरें दिसलें पळोवन. तुमकां सगळ्या मानेस्तांक येवकार दिता. शैवीचे आज पुस्तक हे संजना पब्लिकेशन्सा खातीर एक आय वूड से इट्स एन ऑनर फॉर संजना पब्लिकेशन्स बिकॉज शी इज द यंगेस्ट रायटर of Sanjana Publications. She is in 12th standard now, just 17 years old. हांवें आज वेळ जितली पुस्तकां पब्लिश केल्यात त्या सगळ्या रायटर्सां मदीं शी इज द यंगेस्ट. ह्या खातीर ताका एक ताळयो. कोणाकय दिसूं येता की एक उमेद म्हणून काडलें काय शैवीचें पुस्तक, बट नो. शैवी जरी वयान ल्हान असलें तरी वैचारीक दृश्ट्या आणि विचारांनी ते खूब प्रगल्भ आसा. ताज्या लेखनाक, ताज्या कवितेक एक डेप्थ आसा, एक मॅच्युरिटी आसा. आणि तेन्ना म्हाका दिसलें की ह्या भुरग्याक खंय तरी बेगीन एक्सपोजर मेळपाक जाय. नॉर्मली कितें जाता, कोणी 30 वर्सांचेर ना ते मागीर पळोवया, जॉबा लागतकीर पळोवया, पयलीं आतां बरोवपाक लागलां बी अशें म्हणून आपली पुस्तकां फाटीं दवरतात. पूण शैवी सारके भुरगे खूब व्हडलो मान मेळयतले ह्या क्षेत्रांत, कवितेच्या क्षेत्रांत अशें म्हाका दिसता. फक्त शैवीन आपलें वाचन बरें दवरपा जाय. आनी जरी करियर आसलो, करियराची वाटचाल आसाच, पूण ताजे बरोबर पॅरलली जें आपूण बरयता तें लेखन सातत्यान चालू दवरपा जाय. आनी लेखन जर सातत्यान चालू उरतलें जाल्यार ताका वाचन हें खूब म्हत्वाचें. शैवीक म्हाका दिसता प्रस्तावनेक माधव बाबांनी तेंच म्हळां की वाचन हें खूब म्हत्वाचें. वाचनांतल्यान नवे विचार मेळटात आनी नवे विचार येतकच बरोवपाक स्फुरण येता. शैवीक आयच्या दिसा हांव परबी भेटयतां. तुका कॉंग्रॅच्युलेशन्स फॉर गेटींग पब्लिश्ड एट सच एन यंग एज. ताका खरेंच मना काळजासावन ताळयो फावतात. कोंकणी एक फावट तुमकां सगळ्यांक येवकार. देव बरें करूं.
देव बरें करूं दिनेश भाई. आतां आमी आमचे मानादीक सोयरे ऑनरेबल मिनिस्टर फॉर स्टेट ऑफ गोवा एंड MLA ऑफ पर्वरीम कॉन्स्टिट्युएन्सी हांकां फुलां भेटयतले. हांव मागतां संदवीक वयर येवन माचयेर येवन तांणी फुलां भेटोवची. आयचे कार्यावळीचे दुसरे मानादीक सोयरे श्री विजय शेट्टी, फाउंडर चेअरमॅन ऑफ श्री निकेतन चायल्ड केअर अँड एज्युकेशन सेंटर. हांव मागतां अर्ण हाजे लागीं तांणी फुलां दिवन तांकां भोवमानीत करचें. आमचे मदीं आसात श्री महेंद्र काकुलो, डेजिग्नेटेड पार्टनर ऑफ काकुलो अँड एसोसिएट्स, आणि ते स्वता बरे नामादीक कवी जावन आसात. हांव मागतां अक्षय हाजे कडेन तांणी फुलां दिवन तांकां वेलकम करचें. हांव मागतां आश्वी, म्हजे मोगाळ आश्वीक ताणें फुलां दिवन शैवी दीदीक येवकार दिवचो. the moment of the event. A little bit about Shaivee. Shaivee, your talent is undeniable, but the most important thing that I see is just the way you are, right? Your kindness, your behavior, just the way you carry yourself, your resilience, your unwavering spirit, right? That is commendable, and that is what really inspires me as well. As your uncle, I couldn't be more proud to stay here and proudly say that we're all very proud of you. So a little bit about Shaivee. I've seen Shaivee growing up as a child and then the young woman that she is today, right? She started writing very early. Even now, I can find her rhymes scribbled into the books, the old books that I find. And her thoughts are very clear, and those thoughts are getting converted into the poems that she has written. So without further ado, I will invite the author for today's book, Shaivee Kamat, to come and talk to us. What inspired you, Shaivee, really to write? And maybe you can share a few thoughts with us.
Good evening, Rohan Khaunte sir, Vijat Shetti sir, Mahendra Caculo sir, Dinesh Mahendra sir, and esteemed members of the audience. I am extremely grateful to all of you from the bottom of my heart for taking the time today out of your busy schedules and coming here to grace this occasion. I also thank Madhav Bolkar sir, a renowned author of Konkani literature, for his guidance and for reviewing my work. I would also thank my grandmothers Nilima Mungre and Lata Kamat and my dearest friends and family for your support and encouragement as I started my literary passions. And without the support that I received from all of you, this book would not have been possible. It gives me immense joy to stand before you to introduce my debut book today. It is called Over the Garden Wall, and it is a labor of love that has journeyed from the depths of my imagination to the pages that stand before you today. This book is a lifelong dream that I have nurtured. It is an anthology of poems that embody my love of language and the beauty of storytelling. From my childhood, I have been captivated by the power of language. Words have always been a source of refuge, solace, and a means of expression for me. As my uncle said, I have been scribbling them into notebooks that I would smuggle away under the bed or papers that I would shove into drawers. So this book, it is a testament to that enduring love that I've had with words and with language since I was young. Each poem within these pages is a piece of my heart and a reflection of cherished moments that I've had. These poems are a culmination of years that I've spent exploring language, its nuances, and delving deep into the thoughts that I would get. And as I release this book into the world, I am filled with excitement and anticipation for the journeys that this book is going to take, the conversation that it's going to spark, and the lives that will be touched by this book. And I sincerely hope that you will find moments of joy, reflection, and connection in this book. I invite you today to open these pages and join me as I explore all of that. Thank you for being here this evening with us and for celebrating the joy of creation and a cherished dream of mine that I have accomplished today. And I hope that these poems resonate with you as they have with me, and may they inspire deeper connection to this world that we live in, as well as the life. Thank you.
Thank you, Shaivee. देव बरें करूं. अशें म्हणटात फुडल्यान जोत घाले तशें फाटल्यान फुडें वचचें तशें आजयेन जोत घाला फाटल्यान तूं आयला आनी ताजे फुडल्यान आमची बाकीची माणकुली भुरगीं ताणें फुडें अशेंच बरोवचें अशें हांव मागतां. नेक्स्ट अप आमी आतां बूक रिलीज करतले एट द हँड्स ऑफ ऑनरेबल मिनिस्टर रोहन बाब. सो आमचे मनालीक सोयरे रोहन बाब हांकां तुमी सगळे वळखताच, पूण तरी आसतना दोन उतरां तांचे इंट्रोडक्शन दिवंक अशी गरज ना, सगळ्यांक खबर आसा. दडादिरीचे आमचे आमदार आनी लीडर श्री रोहन खौंटे, ऑनरेबल मिनिस्टर फॉर टुरिझम, IT, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स अँड कम्युनिकेशन एंड प्रिंटिंग अँड स्टेशनरी इन द गव्हर्मेंट ऑफ गोवा, and he is also the MLA of Porvorim constituency. He is well recognized for his hard work, determination, dynamic leadership skills, and inherent humbleness. Rohan is an electronic engineer by qualification and has various business interests in the state. And he has, through his business, has employed hundreds of local youth. His vision and achievements in business has earned him Young Entrepreneur Award at the hands of Governor of Goa in the year 2003. In 2013, he was selected as one of the 16 young MLAs from across the country and conferred with the award Adarsh Yuva Puruskar by the Bharatiya Chhatra Sansad Foundation, headed by the former Chief Election Commissioner of India. Rohan is also the chairman of Porvorim Yuva Welfare Trust and has been actively involved in the formation of self-help groups for women empowerment. He has been instrumental in forming farmers clubs in Porvorim with the main objective to revive and encourage farming. He strongly believes in Goan culture and tradition and has formed several bhajani mandals in his constituency as well. Lastly, Rohan has been an active sportsman in his younger days as well, having represented state of Goa in the field of cricket and basketball. So without further ado, I would request our guest for today, Rohan, to speak a few words.
A very good evening to all of you. आज आम्ही बाय शैवीच्या बुक लॉन्च ओवर द गार्डन वॉल या लॉन्चाक जे आमी हांगा उपस्थित आसा, त्या कार्यक्रमाक हांगा व्यासपीठार उपस्थित आयचे गेस्ट ऑफ ऑनर श्री विजय शेट्टी, तशेंच बाब काकुलो, बाब दिनेश, आमचे आयचे ऑथर बाय शैवी, बाकीचे मानीस हांगा जमिल्ले, शैवीचे पेरेंट्स हेमंत आणि अंबिका, ग्रँड पेरेंट्स लत्तय, बाकीचे सगळे जाण ताजे वेल विशर्स, रिलेटिव्स, भाव आणि भयणीं, खूब आनंद जाता आज आयच्या ह्या कार्यक्रमाक येवन. खास करून कित्याक काय म्हणल्यार इट इज अ फॅमिली प्रोग्राम. सोयऱ्याचे नात्याचे भुरगे ऑथर जाता हाज्याक जर म्हाका दिसता इट कॅन बी अ डबल क्वोशंट ऑफ हॅपीनेस. When Hemant and Ambika came, first I didn't understand. कित्याक आयच्या तारखेन भुरगीं आनी पोयम बरयतली म्हणल्यार टू डिस्टंट पिक्चर्स. मोबायलाचेर कितें करतली म्हणल्यार वी नो कॉन्फिडेंटली कितें तरी घेवन येतली म्हणून. आनी जेन्ना कसले कार्यक्रम जाले जाल्यार वी मेक इट अ पॉयंट टू गो बॅक टू दॅट चायल्ड एंड मे बी शेअर सम ऑफ आवर डेज. लगताय म्हणटले आमचे दीस बरे आशिल्ले, आशाताई म्हणटले आपले आनी दीस बरे आशिल्ले. बट एज जनरेशन्स ट्रान्झिट, challenges of keeping our ethos, culture, tradition alive is one of the biggest challenge in today's world. फुडल्या जनरेशनाक आमी तीच संस्कार दिवचे हो आमचो प्रयत्न आसता. आनी त्या प्रयत्नांतल्यान कसो कल्चर डेव्हलप जाता ताज्याच प्रमाणे हाव यू कीप युअर होम एनवायरमेंट, दॅट इज हाव द चायल्ड डेव्हलप्स. फेलिसिटेशन करता आसतना एकदा बेस्ट मार्क पडिल्ली भुरगीं वाचन कितलें आसा काय म्हणटकर अशी करून पळयता तेन्ना कळटा की आयदर इट इज गुगल बाबा और चॅट GPT समवेअर इन बिटवीन वे essays have been coming out. आणि ताज्या खातीर एकदा प्रश्न पडटा की जेन्ना आमी यंगस्ट नेशन म्हणटा आणि विकसीत भारताची भाशा उलयता जाल्यार वी नीड टू शोल्डर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज ऑन द नेक्स्ट जनरेशन. जाल्यार इट इज आवर रोल एंड रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी टू कल्टिवेट दॅट जनरेशन टू एन्श्युअर दॅट आमचो भारत देश त्या प्रगतीशील जावन आमी एक विश्वगुरू जातात. त्या हातूंतल्यान जेन्ना अंबिका आनी हेमंत घेवन आयले, अगेन वेंट टू लॉन्च ऑफ द पोयम बुक. I said, wow, this is something which we cannot miss out. आनी हांव म्हणलें हेमंत असेंब्ली येता एकूच तें मात टेन्शन आसा कित्याक लॉंग सेशन म्हणटकर ऑपोजिशनाक लॉंग टायम मेळटा चर्चा करपाक आनी वी हॅव टू बी इक्वली प्रिपेर्ड. This is my third term, so I know how the opposition has to play as a role every day. And 8 वर्सां हांवें ऑपोजिशनूच करून I realized that there is a lot of depth for understanding both sides of the government. आनी सरकारान डेमोक्रेसीन दोनूय आसपाक जाय, रुलींग आनी ऑपोजिशनान. सरकार जो चलता सरकाराच्यो त्रुटी काडपाक ऑपोजिशनान सारक्यो काडपाकूच जाय, तेन्नाच सरकार सारको चलूंक शकता. ना जाल्यार सरकाराक असो एक घमंड आसता की आपूण करता तें पुर्व आनी कांयच ना. तशेंच similarly as we come to this generation out of technology savvy children, which I believe she will be, it's a high question of happiness for all of us, especially आमी गोंयकार म्हणटा आसतना परवरकारी म्हणपी हांव तो एक ल्हानसो टॅग लावपी, कारण इट बिकम्स समथींग अनइमॅजिनेबल. कित्याक भुरगे आसतना पोयम बरोवप नाल्यार स्टोरी बूक बरोवप, आय थिंक इट्स क्वायट अ चॅलेंज. इमॅजिनेशन, passion to do, I could see when she was talking, but the line of imagination at this age, so I was just going through one of the and म्हणले तू कशे सब्जेक्ट काडटा गो असो येता म्हणले. बेसिकली आमी भुरगेपणान अशें ट्राय केल्लें तेन्ना आमकां A4 बॉन्ड सायज पेपर मेळनाशिल्लो. तो पुस्तकाच्या खंयची तरी मदली पानां उरता ती काडप आमी आनी ताचेर बरोवपाक ट्राय करप. मागीर आवय बापूय तापताली कित्याक ते आमी ते चुतो करून उडयताले, म्हणजे कांय जायनाशिल्लें म्हणून आमचे कडेन. So it is not everybody's role to try and do things. Everybody has got a special part in them which allows them to carry their passion. So Shaivee, tuka आज heartiest congratulations. But I would also congratulate Hemant and Ambika and the grandparents here कित्याक तांचे शिवाय हे जावपूय पॉसिबल जायना. कारण एकदा पॅशन आसता पूण भुरगे 11वे 12वेक आसा म्हणल्यार एकदा आवय बापूय फक्त नंबर 1 नंबर 2 ताजेरूच आसता पर्संटेज. वन ऑफ माय डॉटर्स फ्रेंड ताजी आवय बापूय ना खुश जाली 10वेचो रिजल्ट येतकर. म्हणलें ताका हाका आमगेल्याक पडले 88.5 कितें तरी पडले, 88.5 पडले. एंड वी वर व्हेरी हॅपी टू वॉट दॅट शी हॅज गॉन थ्रू दॅट एंड गॉट. फ्रेंडाक 98.8 पडले, सो आवय विचारताली 2% खंय गेले काय म्हणून. हांवें म्हणलें आमी पास जाल्यार पुरो म्हणटाले, हांगा खंयच्यान खंय पावच म्हणलें. वी बिलीव दॅट इन टुडेज जनरेशन इट इज नॉट ओनली अबाउट एकेडॅमिक्स, इट इज अबाउट अ ऑल राउंड डेव्हलपमेंट ऑफ द चाइल्ड. आनी आय थिंक Shaivee has got the talent as she starts her journey in this new path. So as Shaivee takes her career, 12वी फुडलें शिक्षण करता आसतना, I would only request her की हे पॅशन जे तुजें आसा, don't allow it to die down. I don't think this type of things are found in every second human being which would even want to do it. You have the talent, and we would want to see you grow in that particular part of life, which would, I think it has made your parents and your grandparents very proud, your relations very proud. It has to make all of us very proud. एक गोंयकार चली आपल्या हाजेर जशें आमचे बाब दिनेशान म्हणलें की यंगस्ट म्हणून, I think she has just started a journey and there's a long way to go. One of her books I think is talking about a road to go also, you know. हे तरी पहिला हांवें. पूण अशें दीस येता आसतना हांव चड भाशण फुडें व्हरचो ना, बट I would only say that as a MLA of that particular constituency and as a relative of Hemant and a well-wisher of Shaivee, I would love to promote this type of things, which I think I need to discuss with her separately and her parents, to see that it is a motivation for someone else and an inspiration for the next child. जे शैवीन आज केला ते दुसऱ्यांनी करूकच जाय अशें न्हय, but it has to be an inspiration that out of the academics and out of the rest of the things that are happening, our child has today found a new journey, a new passion to take ahead, and as we motivate her, it should be an inspiration for many children who have been here or who are not here to look at this type of books and try and make some different thoughts together to take their career ahead. That I at least strongly believe that career building is not only about academics, but there are many other tools which need to be put across to make that child ready for the journey of this particular world. आमचे दीस गेले की एकदा म्हणटाले 10वी पास जालो की पुरं आले, 11वी पास झाला पुरं झाले. आता एज्युकेशन इज गोइंग टू बी द की इन एव्हरी सेक्टर. As a IT minister, we meet people with artificial intelligence which has come in and taking a lot of more thoughts. For us politically, employment has become the biggest challenge with AI coming in. You need only qualified skill manpower, and non-qualified may not find any opportunities ahead. These are the challenges which we need to find a way out. Avani, Nilesh, Sachin, बरोबर वाढले. And Nilesh was never a bookworm, Dr. Zalo. But he was not around the books, he was to be around everything. So I think this has been a journey in the family which has been carried ahead. And I take this opportunity to once again wish Shaivee, Hemant, Ambika, Rattai, all the grandparents and relations here, and congratulate Shaivee and ensure that I hope that she takes her passion ahead and makes all of us proud in days to come. Thank you. Dev welcome.
रोहन बाब कितलो सुंदर विचार. फक्त एकाडेमीक मळाचेर आपणे भुरग्यांनी फुडें वचचें न्ही, सगळें ऑलरावंड डेवलपमेंट भुरग्यांचो खूब गरजेचो. आय होप द एडवायस फ्रॉम ऑनरेबल मिनिस्टर inspires a lot of parents, including myself. I don't know how I will react when my kid is in 12th, but thank you, Rohan Bab. सो रोहन बाबाक आमी जाणा सदां खूब बिजी असतात आनी म्हणून आमी जशे ते हांगा आसात तशे तांकां मेमेंटो दिवन तांचो ऑनर करया. आमच्या मदीं आज आसात महेंद्र काकुलो बाब. श्री Mahendra Caculo is a civil engineer and a renowned valuer and has presented many papers all over the country. He is also the author of the bestseller book Property Valuation by Income Approach. His second book on valuation, Facets of Real Estate and Valuation, is due to be published very soon. He has published 2 books of poetry, Late Blooms and Threaded Musings, which have been well received, and he has also read his poems at Kavya Mehfil and Kavyanand. I will request Mahendra Bab to say a few words.
Dignitaries on the days and the people gathered here. I'm here to talk about Shaivee's book, Over the Garden Wall. I received this request from Dinesh some time back, and he told me a young girl is publishing her first book and she's the youngest author whose book we are publishing. She's only 16 years of age. And I invite you to speak at the book release. So I said yes, but I was a bit of shaken, how can I, as a person who started writing poetry at the age of 54 and published his book at the age of 55, can talk about a girl who starts writing poetry at 12 and publishes at 16. So I thought that, I may not be the right person to talk about her because, she has achieved so much at such a young age. But then I said, let me go ahead and do something, because this is the first time I have been called as a guest when a poetry book is released. I do this recently on the valuation platform, but first time for a release of a poetry book, and I'm very happy to be here. So having brought out my limitations as to how I am at a disadvantage vis-a-vis Shetti, so let me start. As the title of the book suggests, okay, I've been given 20 minutes, I'll start my clock. Because I don't want to take too much time. As the title of the book suggests, Over the Garden Wall, basically I think it means that a poetess or the poet is trying to look at the world from her window or maybe from her garden, trying to look over the wall of the garden, seeing certain things and imagining many things. This is my interpretation of the title of the book. It's a worldview of a young, growing, innocent child as to what, based on the limited experience of life that she has, and thinking based on her readings and imagining what it could be to be in real life. This is my take on the particular title. It's a book which is intertwined with a lot of things. There is a lot of imagination, there is fantasy, and there is something which is called as, and she only uses this word, vivid paracosms. So there is this world of, imaginary world she creates in her poetry. Many of her poems have got this imaginary world, and that evolves as she goes on writing these poems of hers. So, lot of things, lot of imagination, and imagery is one of her forte, if you ask me. Imagination and imagery is one of the forte of our dear Shaivee. This book of hers is, populated with kings, it is populated with queens, princesses, then there are fairies. Fairies also are there. And she is also fascinated by various seasons. This is one part of it, the characters. And then there are seasons. She writes ode to winter, ode to autumn, ode to summer. She also writes about rains. So there is this fascination for, paracosm as well as the autumns and the seasons and the flowers and so many things. If I read this book of her, and which I have read, I find there are, references to woods, glades, meadows, and different type of flowers also, dandelions, and there are poppies and daffodils and roses and whatnot. So the canvas is vast. The canvas is pretty vast. So as she goes about writing her book, you can sense that she has evolved from the time, and she writes in this preface of hers, when she came upon a book of her uncle, a textbook which had certain poetry or certain poems in them, which basically, if I can say so, would probably poems written by the classical British poets. Am I right? So I feel the influence of those poets into her poems, and even some poems of her are they contain the words like thou and thee and hast and whatnot. The poetry as is to be written by classical English poets. There is smattering of Latin too. She has used a couple of Latin phrases also in her poetry book. And I was surprised to find references to Greek gods of Poseidon and Zeus. I mean, this is all amazing to me. A girl who is only 14 and 15 is, her canvas is so big and she can imagine so many things. And writing sort of English, which sometimes even left me flummoxed at the age of 62. And I'm not yet 62, but it was pretty interesting trying to be in her mind and what she must be experiencing when she read these poets and when she wrote these poems. So, in a way, I was dumbstruck. I was awed by her awesome talent, and I said, this is something special, right? This is something which comes to a very few people, few human beings would be capable of imagining these things at such a young age and then penning them. In her preface, she says that, this book of her uncles, and I don't know which uncle was that. Pardon? Okay. So this textbook of her uncles fell into her hands, and she read those poems of that particular textbook. And then she said that she had this reader book which was prescribed to them in school, and there also she read certain poems, and then she started writing because she got influenced by those. And she talks about that, and then she talks when she was interacting with her mother, this title of the book came to her suddenly, just like that, out of the blue. And though it came to her just out of the blue, my take on the title I have already spoken before. That is what probably I think she meant. The book is a compilation of 19 beautifully written poems. They are varied. They are absolutely varied. There are odes to various seasons. There is a poem on rain. Then there is a poem on also turtle. And then there is a poem on sea also. So different poems on different topics. And she does do justice to so many things which she talks about. When I wrote this, when I read this book of hers, I felt that she's a precocious child. I honestly felt that she's a precocious child, well beyond her years, much beyond her years. Her language is impeccable. Her usage of the tools which any poet would use, the similes, the metaphors, the alliteration, she uses it very easily. She uses it very easily. Her command over English language is formidable. I had to look up certain words which she used. I'll be very honest. Certain words she used were beyond me, so I had to look them into the dictionary. And this is all good. I have always maintained that a poet is not only a person who is artistic, because a poetry cannot come to you just like that. There has to be something artistic inside you. So I maintain that a poet is a person who has to be artistic. That is the first. But the most important thing is that he should be a person who can work on his art. Or like कितें म्हणया आतां कोंकणीन म्हणटलें शेट म्हणया आमी कोणी आसता तो जशी थिकां घेता आनी ते मुदयेचेर बसयता आनी मुदी बरी दिसता. So that is the way the poet will come up with an idea, and then he has to work with these words, a craftsman, and he arranges these words in a way that they sound more beautiful if they were in a different way. So a poet would assemble these words, and this is a process which takes time. You first come up with a poem, at least this for me. Sometimes it comes very easily. Sometimes you have to go on working on it, and that takes probably a day or 2 or 3 days. And then only you think that, okay, now this is in the form I wanted it to be. So I think this is probably the same with you also, because probably it is universal. Most of the poets, when I discuss their poems with them, they would also tell me that this is the process which they undergo while writing a poem. So what I mean is, the idea comes to you and you work on it. You work on it, and then you become a sort of a craftsman working with words. So she is a formidable poet in the sense she has got both these assets which a poet should have in her. Now, some of the lines in this poetry book of hers, really caught my attention, which I will recite. The first one is, she says, "Whoever said death was an end, sob you may with your fearful glance, but whoever said scars don't mend." I mean, this is well beyond her age. That's why I say that she is precocious. This is something which would come to somebody only with exploration of your inner self, with the experience of so many years of living. But then she comes up with these sort of lines at the age of 15, 16, which I think is formidable. Then there is this gem which I found in a poetry book, which is, she calls as a monsoon haiku. And it's a haiku of only 3 lines and 8 words. It goes like this: pitter patter, the heavens splatter, sounds of water. Isn't it beautiful? So I would add one more line to this and bring out my take on this. Pitter patter, the heavens splatter, sounds of water, monsoons on a platter. She, within these 8 words, she brings out the monsoon on a platter to the riddle of a poem, which is amazing quality she has got, and she grabs you with her words. This is what I felt while reading her poems. And if I have to see the essence of this young poet as she is growing up, and if I have to imagine how she would evolve into a poetess or a poet of formidable stature in future, then I think the poem which I have to read to understand her psychology and probably a pointer to her future evolution would be a poem which goes by the name "The Road Goes Ever On and On." In it she writes, now she's, though at a young age of 15 or 16, she is very sure that she has chosen a path which is going to be difficult. She is very, very sure that she has chosen a path which is going to be difficult, but she is not bothered by it. She is ready to walk this path, and she is ready to fight her own wars by herself without any support from anyone. She is ready for that. So let us read some lines of this poem of hers. The road goes ever on and on. My screams are lost before my lips part, but I keep walking. See, this young girl is talking here. My screams are lost before my lips part, but I keep walking. She knows that this path is difficult. There are a lot of troubles ahead. There are a lot of hardships ahead. But she also knows that even if she screams, there is nobody who would listen to her screams and to come to help. So she says that my screams are lost even before my lips part, but I keep on walking. And then she further on adds, the road is dark and lonely, and the only light comes from within my soul. So she is ready to fight her own battles, and she is sure about it. So this is a quality of hers which I think will stand her in good stead, and it shows us the path which she is going to take as a poet in future, which path definitely is going to take her to greater heights. A few words which I would like to tell her as a sort of advice from an elderly poet. I asked her whether she understands Konkani and Marathi. She says she understands, but she can't read Konkani and Marathi, so that's a sort of a disadvantage. But I would probably request her mother or father, probably uncle, to read to her some of the poems written by our formidable poets of Goa and Maharashtra, that is Marathi. Please read to her certain poetry or certain important poems or well-known poems of, in Konkani I would say Baki Baburkar or Madhav Baburkar, Ramesh Veluskar Bab. In Marathi also Baki Baburkar, Mangesh Padgaonkar, Kusumagraj. So this sort of poetry, if you read to her, she understands the languages, would give her more of vision of our surroundings, because she so far has been fed with the writings of classical English poets. She should also get exposure to our local vernacular poetry in Konkani as well as Marathi. This is my one take. I would also suggest to you that you start reading English poetry written by Indian poets. I can suggest a few names to you. Please remember the names which I am telling you. Arun Kolatkar, formidable poet. Dilip Chitre, Arundhati Subramaniam. Arundhati Subramaniam will give you sensibilities of a poet, woman, writing in English, a poetry. You can also think of reading Salil Chaturvedi, because just like you, he writes a lot about the world around him, the environment, the trees, the flowers, the animals, and these sort of things. So I think that Salil Chaturvedi's poetry will be of fascination and delight to you. You can also think of reading Khalil Gibran, the ever classic The Prophet, and please do not leave out Pablo Neruda. Pablo Neruda's 20 love songs and a song of despair. 20 love poems and a song of despair, which he wrote at the age of 18, is considered a classic in the world literature. So she is not alone when I talk, say, a person of 16 or 17 writing great poetry. Pablo Neruda wrote 20 love songs and a song of despair at the age of 17 or 18. So it's a poem which is worth reading. So please do give our exposure to these poets. Now, with your permission, if I have to look into crystal ball and gaze, and what could be her future? So if I think like that, I can easily make out that she has got great imagination. Her imagery is great. Her command over English is fantastic. She has got good exposure to these classical English poets. So going forward, what could happen? So if you ask me, then these are the things which come to my mind. As she now grows older, COVID times are over, so she will be able to step out of the garden wall. Obviously, she will be able to step out of the garden wall and go into the world and find her own path. As she goes about, she will observe this world of ours in all its messy magnificence. The world is messy, but it is also magnificent. So she will observe this world in its messy magnificence. She will note all the good things and the ugly things which are going around. And as a person with great sensibility, she will absorb all these things which she sees like a sponge. I can make that out. She will absorb all these things like a sponge. And these observations of her, these experiences of hers, will bring greater depth to her writing. This will bring greater depth to her writing. Her experiences will give her unique perspectives. Her own experiences, which are unique to everyone, obviously hers will be, they will give her unique perspectives. And because of these unique perspectives, her writing will have its originality. It's have its own originality, and because of that, it will become authentic and realistic. She will slowly move away from the world of fantasy. She will slowly move away from the world of fantasy into the realms of authentic and realistic writing. Even when she writes about fantasy, it will have its roots in the experiences which she would have had. These are my feelings. Though life is ephemeral, that is very true. Kshanabunga. Though life is ephemeral, her poetry will become ethereal. This is what I am very sure about. Her poetry will become ethereal. It will touch and tug at the strings of hearts of the people who read her poetry. It will have its timeless quality, and she will come to be known as one of the great poets that Goa has produced. Thank you.
Some of the advice that you gave to Hemant and Ambika, I think also applies to all the parents. आमचे गोयचे माझी जे पोएट आसा तांची कविता आमी वाचची, लिटरेचर अशेंच आमी जपचें. Thank you very much. I think you are also very spot on in your read of her poems. I think I remember her telling me her love for flowers, and also I think a lot of poems came through the COVID time. So I think that is where the seasons also came in, right? Shri, if I'm correct there. But again, thank you, Mohin Bab. On a funnier note, over the garden wall for me, right, when I was at 17 years, for me it was केन्ना 5 जाता हांव वॉलाचेर त्या सायडीन वचून क्रिकेट खेळटा आमिगा बरोबर तशें आसा पोएट्री वॉज नेवर माय कप ऑफ टी बट अगेन व्हेरी प्राउड मुमेंट फॉर अस but anyway we'll move on so next up we have Shri Shetti. He's the founder chairman of Shri Niketan Child Care and Education Center and he has served as principal and administrator of Gyan Vikas School in Porvorim. Mr. Shetti is also associated with many social and cultural organizations in Goa. He is the president of Parampara Pratishtanam, a cultural organization to preserve, propagate and promote Indian culture. He is the former president of all Goa government recognized unaided schools association, a member of the Goa branch of National Association for the Blind, former president of Rotary Club of Mapsa, and he's also associated with Asta since its inception as the founder, president and presently joint treasurer and chairman of PT. I will request Shri Shetti ji to share a few words with us.
Our distinguished guest on the days and of the days, family of Shaivee, her parents and grandparents, and all the invitees. Very good evening to all of you. I am deeply honored to stand before you today as the guest of honor for this momentous occasion, the release of a book of poems, Over the Garden, written by one of our very own, Miss Shaivee Kamat, a remarkable student from our pre-primary school. First and foremost, I would like to extend my heartfelt congratulations to Shaivee. At such a young age, she has achieved something truly extraordinary. Her poems reflect a depth of thought, a vivid imagination, and a sensitivity to the world around her that is truly inspiring. Shaivee, you have made all of us incredibly proud. I would also like to acknowledge and thank our chief guest, Shri Rohan Khaunte, for being here to release the book. Poetry is a unique and powerful form of expression. It allows us to capture and convey emotion, experiences and vision in a way that transcends ordinary language. For Shaivee to have embraced this art form and to have crafted such beautiful poems at her age is a testament to her talent and the nurturing environment provided by her family and her school. As educator, one of our greatest joy is to see our students excel and express themselves creatively. Shaivee's accomplishment is a shining example of what our young minds are capable of when they are encouraged to explore their passions and given the freedom to express themselves. To Shaivee's parents and teachers, I extend my deepest gratitude. Your support, guidance and encouragement have been instrumental in nurturing Shaivee's talent. It is a partnership between home and school that truly fosters the growth and development of our children. Shaivee, as you continue on your journey, remember that the world of poetry is vast and boundless. Keep writing, keep exploring, and never lose the sense of wonder and curiosity that brought you to this point. Your words have the power to touch hearts, inspire minds, and make a difference. In closing, let us celebrate this wonderful achievement and look forward to many more poems from our young poet, Shaivee. You are a beacon of light and source of inspiration for all of us. May this book be the first of many, and may your journey as a poet be filled with joy, discovery, and endless creativity. And as far as I know, Shaivee from the age of 3, from nursery level, I know her. She was very studious, very serious, and that is the quality of a poet. Because they keep on thinking, they keep on imagining what is happening around. And when I just went through the book at a glance, I found that she has referred most of the natural things. She is the entire nature. I found many natural words, and nature is like a god. And you have chosen that nature as your first collection of poems, and I think over the wall, garden wall, you are going to see many more things around the world, and imagine in your own way and write many more poems and many more books in this direction. When I asked her, she said, I am doing science. She has taken science stream. And poems and science, somewhere it is not matching. But fortunately, the next generation, I don't know whether Shaivee will get the benefit of it, but at least college level she will get. But as per our National Education Policy 2020, the fantastic document which has been released by the government is really worth implementing. I am doubtful about implementation because the people who are involved has to change their mindset, because now we have streams like commerce, science, arts, but in future it is going to be mixture of all. There will be choice for the children. Even if she is science, she can take literature, she can take history, she can take commerce of her liking. So this trend is going to make the future children of our country the all-rounder. Because what happens, now you are going for science, it may be based on your future career. But writing poem is your hobby. You will continue that, I know that. And when she was in primary also, I think she started writing a little bit. And really, I was thinking that time only she is going to become, good writer. It's not only the poems, you can write articles, on various subjects, because you have imagination. And looking at the reality of the world also, if you are able to, write in a proper way, it will definitely help the people. And as per new education policy, I think future generation will definitely benefit, but it all requires the proper implementation at all level. Now up to the second standard, they call it as foundational stage, that is pre-primary. Up to the age of second standard, because up to the age of 8, their brain is developing, and that is the age where they have to enjoy their learning. It is not like preparing for some exam or anything. So that age, up to the age of 8, they are going to make it pre-primary and foundational stage. And there are so many skillful activities which will be implemented, or rather to be implemented. If you go through the National Education Policy, it is a fantastic document, and if it is implemented seriously, 100%, that is definitely going to help our children, because even up to the age of 12, our children are not able to know exactly what I am going to become. When they are doing fancy dress, they say I am going to become doctor or engineer or even army man. But now when the new education policy is implemented, it is a document for 20 years, from 2020 to 2040. So this document is definitely going to give a clear picture of this outcome of this policy at in the year 2040. I think by that time the entire education system will be something different, which we never imagined, because we all have learnt by rote. Frankly speaking, we have learnt by rote, not by practical learning. So the practical learning is going to be introduced from the age of 6th standard, and even vocational subjects will be started. So they will be familiar to the vocation which they would like to select in future. And with that, I would like to conclude with saying that Shaivee has done a wonderful job at this age, and she has got many more years to accomplish her dream. And I wish her all the best in her career, in her hobby. I will say it may not be her career. Writing poems may not be career, but it is a hobby. Please continue that, and you will definitely enjoy doing it and make others happy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shetti sir. I'm sure, I think Shaivee will also agree with me. The impact that you had in the initial days of her schooling, I think has played definitely a bigger role in her reading, also writing. So thank you, more power to you, sir, for all the work that you do. So next up, Mahendra has graciously, he wants to present his own book to Shaivee. So we'll do that. Thank you, Mahendra.
This is a copy of my second poetry book, Read in Music. So, copy.
And as I just said, the role of Guru is very important in our lives. Shaivee, if you have any teachers here, if you would like to give them a copy. Okay. So next up, we will have Dinesh Bhai presenting a memento from his side to our esteemed guest for today. Before we end today's event, I would request Hemant, Kamat, dad of Shaivee, to say a few words and thank for this event.
Good evening. I would like to propose the vote of thanks first and foremost to our Honorable Minister for State of Goa and MLA of Porvorim constituency, Shri Rohan Khaunte, for giving us some of his very extremely valuable time and coming all the way here to grace this occasion as chief guest. I would also like to thank Shri Mahendra Caculo, a very well-known and successful author of Rohan poetry. It's a great honor as the father of Shaivee, to have her work acknowledged by Mahendra sir. Thank you, sir. I would also like to thank Vijat Shetti sir, former principal of Shaivee in primary and Gyan Vikas school. Sir, the foundation which you and Vidya ma'am and Sneha laid down have today blossomed and helped Shaivee transition from a small budding flower into a full bloom tree, a fruit bearing tree, I would like to say. Okay, thank you, sir. Without all of you, this would not have been possible. I would also like to thank Shri Mother Borkar sir, for being there to guide and encourage Shaivee in fulfilling her literary passion. Although he could not be here to grace this occasion. I would like to also thank Shaivee's teachers, Shaivee's friends, Shaivee's family for being there to support and encourage her in pursuing her passion. Thank you all and have a great evening.